a podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative. Welcome to the Owlguard, Episode 2, I'm Not Blaming Myself. Featuring the voices of Renwick, Amanda Cotter, Abigail Carey, Leah Ryan, and JD Kelly as the Dungeon Master.
Quillow notices Lavinia still staring intently at the trapdoor, wanders up next to her, and says, "So who's going in first?"
Lavinia swallows really hard and then says with a little bit of a shake in her voice, "Well, it is my job to protect others, so I suppose it should be me." And she's going to take a step towards the trapdoor, and if no one stops her, she's going to walk down.
Sid's just shaking their head. No.
Well, I think that my skill set might be good for just, being on the lookout for traps or anything possibly, but you've got a really good sense of what's down here, so I'm also up for other suggestions.
I will say, I'll watch your back.
Yes.
And I will follow in after you.
I'm actively, I'm like, yes, good on you. That's very noble, and I'm sure that whatever, religion that you follow is gonna be so proud of you. So good, go.
I'll go last.
From I think my skills would be best suited for this. I'll bring up the rear. It's cool. Y'all go first.
I looked back at my stats and I realized, oh wait, those stats are not actually that good. So it was a total lie. Yeah.
You're all level 1. Nobody's stats are that good.
Yeah, nobody's good.
That's so true. But okay, I am doing it because I'm like, I'll be on the lookout in the back and just make sure that nothing's following us. And I don't really, I love Sid already, but stealing stuff, I don't really know what's going to happen if we leave them in the back. I don't want you stealing stuff out of my pockets either, okay?
What? You don't trust me to bring up the rear?
Lavinia, as you walk down the steps, you realize that the wood gives way to stone. As this is not a dug passageway, this is a built passageway. This isn't some shack that's been dug under. It's more substantial than that. There are, masonry brick in the walls of this place that is a fully realized passageway. And it opens out into a squarish room with... it's very dark down there, but as a half-elf, I believe you have dark vision?
I do, yep.
So you can see with dark vision in that room that there is a desk, there is some shelves, there is some piles of crates and stuff opposite the desk. So the desk is on the left side of the room, the stuff is on the right-hand side of the room, the shelves are behind the desk, and ahead of you is a closed door. There are some sconces on the walls, but they are not currently lit.
Do I have enough of a lingering divine sense to get an idea of whether this is the unconsecrated ground or if it is further in?
It is further in.
Okay. I'm going to do a perception check before running in. That is a 15.
Excellent. What are you looking for?
I am looking for, Our dear Aletheia reminded me that there may be traps. And so I am definitely reading through the Rook book on traps in my head, line by line. And I am looking for any evidence of anything that is these traps. I'm like halberd out in front of me to get tripwires sort of thing. Extraordinarily by the book.
I don't know if this makes this any easier, but like, if we're coming in behind Lav, if I see a sconce, I'm gonna prestidigitate on it to just light one, and probably the one like closest. And then as we move into the room, just know I'm lighting as we go.
Love that. I love that. This nervous little tiefling at the back going,
yeah.
Clearly they don't like the dark.
Oh, they're not at the back. I'm at the back.
oh, yes. Sorry, pardon me.
Almost
Third in
at the
line.
back.
But by happenstance, very ideal, for without those sconces being lit, Aletheia would be seeing nothing, as they are human,
Yes.
and so do not have dark vision. And they are the only one who would not have it. So
She would never have brought it up. She wouldn't want to bring the team down.
just stumbling through, arms out ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Love that. Love that.
But yes, in that case, with advantage, you do look around the room for any traps or anything of unusual note. There are no tripwires. There are no pressure plates that you can notice on the stone floor. But as you are looking around for traps, what does catch your eye is that the door ahead of you is definitely closed and does have a keyhole on it, so it may or may not be locked. And the crates to your right are not sealed, so they are openable. They have not been yet nailed down. The desk on the left has ink, quill, parchment in piles on top of it.
After she has finished a once-over of the room and is convinced that allowing the people that she now feels responsible for to go further in will not result in anyone dying, she'll say, I think it is safe. Quillow, would you check the desk, please? I am going to check the crates.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Quillow.
And Lav is going to go over and, like, lever up a lid with the halberd from the far end of the halberd. And we can go to Quillow first. That's fine.
No, I don't mind going with you first. It's okay.
Sure.
We're all so
No,
polite.
sure, okay.
For the listeners at home, Kaya saw my head just bump up the moment that I heard there was parchment. I will, like, little tiny halfling legs just very quickly, like, scampering across the floor to, like, screech to a halt in front of this stack of parchment, and want to sort through that first.
Okay.
And see what is there.
As you start looking at the desk, you do see that there are drawers. There's 2 drawers on the desk. But as you said about the parchment on top first, as you start leafing through these bits of parchment, at first, it doesn't make too much sense. There seems to be deeds, writs of passage. There's some marriage certificates here, kind of with all sorts of different names on it. It's very, like, why is this here? Why are there all these sorts of things here? But you notice in a second pile, instead, these seem more organized, and it seems to be some kind of ledger or code. And each line has a format to it. A number, the letter D, a number, the letter A, a dash, and then numbers followed by SP, CP, GP. So it reads 1D, 2A, 57 SP, 2A, 1D, 12 SP, 1 GP, 3D, 1A, 12 SP, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Interesting. Definitely, this strikes Quillow and I As you mentioned, it's a ledger, so clearly that's silver pieces, copper pieces, gold pieces. And so the D and the A are the only things in question at this point. Let me know which kind of role you would consider for this. I assume it'll probably be a history check. But I would like to see if I recognize any of the names on any of the parchments in either of the piles.
Yes. History would be fine for that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, Sylph. Don't fuck it up. Okay, well, that's a 12.
Not shabby.
No.
Yeah.
None of these names ring any bells.
Frick.
As you're reading through it, you're like, I don't recognize any of these names. And none of them are families of note in the city either. So you're not sure.
Since some of these things are marriage certificates and writs of passage and deeds, are there any recognizable names of buildings or cities where these might be regarding?
Ooh, or dates.
Both, yes. The various writs and of deeds for property, the marriage certificates from temples, the writs of passage and stuff are all from not only neighboring cities, but further afield as well. Everywhere except Lapcinium City.
Interesting, thank you.
And the dates, the top of the pile are in the last week. The further down the pile, the further those dates go, and they go back far. It's a big pile.
Far like a few years, far like a few centuries.
Oh, this pile, at least a year. Yeah. Lavinia, you pry open one of these crates, and inside you see cloth. You see shirts, jackets, boots, hats, belts, and more. Some of them slightly ornate, most of them very mundane. They have sometimes dirt on them, sometimes blood on them, but it seems ramshackle.
Are they folded or are they just stuffed in?
Oh, they're just stuffed in.
Okay. Are all of the crates like this or just the one that I've opened? Do I need to open more?
As you open more, you realize all of the crates are like this. Some of the other crates have things like more household mundane items like tablecloths or curtains in them and just various kinds of things, but nothing that's of any worth.
Do the crates themselves have any markings on them, or are they
No, just plain wooden crate.
No? Okay. I'm going to fish one or two pieces out and, like, hold them up and look for any evidence of, like, stab wounds, knives, crossbow bolts, like any visible, these were things that people were wearing when they were killed.
Sure, give me an investigation.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 6.
You notice that there are holes in some of them, and some of the holes match up with bloodstains. Some of them don't. They're all in pretty poor condition.
Sure.
But nothing, you can't be certain.
Okay. How do I get a sense of how, are they all the same age as, like, the stuff up in the cabin? All ancient, or any sense of that?
No, some of them are new.
Okay.
Some of them are more recent and some new, and some of them are older.
Okay, thank you. Lavinia will report this to everyone else. Just hold up one of the, whatever she was last looking at, and say, all the crates are full of clothes. I don't know, there lots of shapes and sizes, lots of things. Were they smuggling people? Were they killing people? I don't understand. Quillow, what are you finding?
a bunch of expected things, but somehow unexpected, too. There's writs of passage, marriage certificates, property deeds. This seems to be a ledger of some sort. It goes back at least a year, but there's nothing here from our city.
Strange.
I'd like to look through the rest of the desk.
Sure, give me an investigation.
Well, let's hope this roll goes better. It sure didn't. That's a 9.
Okay, well, that's actually fine. You open the 2 drawers of the desk. Inside one of them is a book, a bound book, and inside the other is some candles and a key.
Well, that seems convenient.
Convenient. Sorry.
Keen. Oh.
Yes, convenient!
And 21 silver pieces.
Can I check to see, like, does this room seem to be well-traveled? Like, it gets a lot of traffic?
Yeah, you could do an investigation check for that, sure. Or a perception, whichever you prefer.
Would love to. That did not go well. Let's see, that was, I rolled a 2, so let's just go with 3. That'll do it.
The room does not have footprints, as it were, in anything that would allow you to know. Everything seems kind of worn, but it might just be because it's secondhand furniture or because it's just worn. So it's hard to know.
I know we just found a key, but I would like to have been checking out the door.
Yeah.
Can I test the handle to see if it's actually locked?
It is, in fact, locked, yes.
Okay. You said there was a keyhole. If I get on my knees and peep through there, do I see anything on the other side?
You also have dark vision, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, so yeah, you do. Your view of the room is a little bit limited. You see that there's a back wall with another sconce on the wall, and either side, close by, you can't really see round that angle, but further into the room, you can see cages on either side of the room.
Okay. I can see a sconce. Can I prestidigitate it from...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then in the cages, can I see anything in them?
You cannot see cages. So you cannot see people in the cages. The cages are empty.
God damn it.
But what you can now see is the pool of blood in front of the sconce at the far end of the room.
Ooh, how big of a pool?
A few quick questions about what I've found in the drawers. Do these candles seem to have been used?
No, they seem like brand new candles, and at a quick glance, you can tell it's the exact same candles which are on the sconces in the walls.
Great, thank you. The bound book does, what identifying features does the bound book have? Is there a title, an author? Is there dust all over it? Has it been cracked recently or never so?
It seems fairly worn. The outside of the book is fairly mundane and does not have any names or identifying marks on it. Do you open the book?
I would love to open the book.
Fantastic.
Oh
What you find inside is a sort of... It's not quite a diary, and there aren't a lot of entries in it. And it seems mainly complaints about the amount that they are asking for. And as you flip through, as this diary seems to... I can't believe they're asking for this much again. We set up the trade and it should have gone according to plan. Now they're asking for more. It's ridiculous. As you flip through a few more of similar entries, it then goes, it mentions them or they by name, as it says, this is the last time we're going to deal with the Gremlin Teeth Emporium.
What a great band name.
The last ones we had through were worth even less than the ones we had before. If they keep leveraging us for money, we're going to have to find another vendor.
Another vendor? I would like to retcon that I've been reading these aloud to everyone.
Sure. In that case, can everyone roll me a history check for the Gremlin Teeth Emporium?
I sure would love to.
You said history? Yeah.
Does sound so familiar.
Yeah.
I dropped a die.
That is a 16 for Aletheia.
Ooh.
And a 19 for me.
A nat 1 for Lavinia.
Of course you wouldn't have known of anything as shady as that.
Natural 20.
Woohoo! We're all getting it.
It's so perfect.
Okay, I'm going to tell you all different things for your rolls. Quillow, you've heard of the Gremlin Teeth Emporium, again from news sources. You are aware that they are a dealers of sort that most people stay away from, that has a bad reputation. They acquire goods through questionable means and sell them to the public. If you're looking for something that you may be lost in the local inn, it might be in the Gremlin Teeth Emporium. It attempts on its facade to look like an upmarket establishment and fails miserably at doing so. It is more of a pawn shop than anything else. And that is what the public are aware of. Aletheia, you know that no one with any kind of reputation would ever be seen in the Gremlin Teeth Emporium. Just going in there amongst the majority of society would go, oh, you're up to no good. Like, it is no criminals go into the Gremlin Teeth Emporium. Sid, you know more than everybody else. You know that the Gremlin Teeth Emporium doesn't just deal in objects. They also deal in people.
How do I know this?
So when you have gone out at night to explore the city, you have spoken to various people that you've seen out and about, and when they've seen you out on your own, they're like, you shouldn't be out on your own. Because if you are found by members of the Gremlin Teeth Emporium, you won't be seen again. Like, watch yourself around those ones, because they'll take anybody, and who knows where you'll end up.
Got it. Cool. Knowing this, I'm gonna pop my head away from the keyhole, swivel around to look at everybody else in the room, and just say, they take people. And also there's blood on the other side.
Anyone else in there?
I don't see anyone.
Should we knock?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Hold on. Rolling to see if I waited just to hear if that was a good idea or not. Does a 3 think it's a good idea?
I don't know how to call that. Like,
Oh, boy.
would your character think it's a good idea to knock, in which case a 3 means they wouldn't knock, or do they think it's a bad idea to knock, in which case a 3 means they totally would knock?
Yeah.
Hi.
This sounds like it's a oh goodness.
Roll for it, 10 and up, yes.
Never mind. I can't think of the word, but
It sounds like a bit of a luck check to me.
Oh, God. Okay.
common sense check.
Sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
That's the
common
word
sense
I was
check.
searching for.
Can I put points into that skill?
Right? How do I level up in that?
6.
6.
You rolled a 6?
I rolled a 6.
You
Oh
knock.
no.
Okay. I knock.
I wasn't being serious.
The knock echoes around the stone walls
Sid!
deep into the bowers of where you are at, and nothing echoes back.
That's good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sid, my friend, we're gonna have to tie your hands. Oh my goodness.
Hearing that, Sid just blushes profusely.
And Quillow writes all this down.
Aletheia is oblivious.
Sid, can you roll me a Constitution check?
Okay.
Oh my god.
We're having fun. Okay, actually, natural 20 again.
Hey!
Oh, excellent. In that case, you do nothing.
Amazing.
Has Quillow said that they have found a key, or are we not aware that you have found a key yet?
I would be quite open about what I found.
Okay. Then having heard all of this, at the point when Sid says they take people, Lavinia is going to get this horrified look on her face as she's still holding the shirt and be like,
no.
oh, okay. And she's going to put it back in the crate, and she's going to pick up her halberd from the crates, and she's going to look over at Quillow, and she's going to say, we were sent here to do a job, and I think the rest of the job is behind the door, so if you wouldn't mind opening it, please.
I move out of the way. I skitter, some might even say, to the side of the room.
And I will walk over and insert the key into the hole. And does it fit?
Hey, yo.
It does.
Sorry.
Lavinia is walking with you. She is doing her best to not give in to the fear and is like trying her best to protect you as you do this so that she is the first through the door.
That's part of why I'm so comfortable opening the doors, because I assume the door, I'm guessing the door opens towards us. I'm hoping the door opens towards us. And so
It does, in fact, yes.
excellent.
Yay.
So yeah, turn that key, open that door, and
Everybody do the dinosaur.
Thank you for bringing brevity to a slightly dark scene.
You're welcome. What can I say? Okay, as the door opens, Lavinia is going to go in with the halberd out in front of her. And do you want me to roll another perception check or investigation, or what do you want?
It depends on what you are doing. If you would like to look around, or if you want to investigate what is around, yes, you could certainly roll for it. That would be great.
I mean, she would like to run away. But let's do an investigation check, because I actually have a bonus in that. Oh, that is a 17 on the die for a total of 21.
nice.
Amazing. As you walk into the room with the single sconce lit at the end, you can see that the cages lining the walls of this place are all empty. There are signs that they were perhaps previously occupied by people, in the fact that there are a few rags to sleep on and buckets in them, but none of them show recent occupation, bar the one at the far left at the end, near the sconce, where the door is currently open, right next to where the blood is. However, on a roll that good, you can also see that the blood runs under the wall, underneath the sconce at the far end.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Secret door, secret door,
secret tunnel. Lavinia is her shoulders are just about to her ears. She is creeping forward. How big of a pool of blood is it? Is it still flowing? Like, how new is the blood?
No, it's not a lot of blood. Now that you're closer to it, you can see it's more of a streak of blood that has, been dragged across the floor.
Okay. And does it look like it was dragged from the open crate or the open cage, rather, or is it just there from the center or in front of the sconce and then back behind the wall?
It looks like it is roughly from in front of the sconce and then back behind the wall.
Is it wet or dry?
It is wet.
Okay. Are y'all coming into the room behind me, or is this Lavinia's last stand?
Oh no. Aletheia runs in behind you. She's eager.
Okay.
Anyone here?
I am in the room, not eager per se, but I am behind
Okay.
you.
Tentatively following, yes.
Okay. I am going to stop, depending on how, if the dimensions work with this, so feel free to shoot me down. I would like to stop on the other side, like the far side of the pool of blood, and reach out with my halberd and tap on the wall with the point of my halberd. Like underneath the sconce sort of thing. Just go tap, tap, tap.
Sure. Yeah. As you do so, you do hear a sort of slightly hollowish kind of echo behind it, as if dropping a pebble down a well.
Do I see any obvious way of opening or raising the wall, or are we going to need to do some...
You would need to roll for such a thing.
Okay. That's totally fair. I'm going to do another investigation and hope that my detective novel-fueled investigation holds out. Oh, that's an 18 on the die for a total of 22.
Let's go.
Dang.
What is with these rolls? These are amazing rolls.
Okay, they're great. I'm not complaining. It's all the book learning. You can't go wrong with book learning. Lavinia has been trying to tell people this her entire life. Books are so much safer than everything else. But here I am with 22.
You can see the scratch marks around the lit sconce on the wall in a circular pattern, denoting it having previously been turned to the right.
Is it in reach?
Oh, yeah.
Before we attempt to, open it, do I see, a seam for how big this door might be?
You do not see a seam.
I think it's the wall.
Oh.
Except for the edges of the room.
I think it's the wall.
I don't... Oh. Okay, well, there goes my plan. Never mind.
So Lavinia, having realized what is happening next, is going to gingerly walk through the blood because there's not really any other way to go, and then look over her shoulder at the others and go, I have no idea what is on the other side of this door, but it could be very bad, so perhaps we should ready our weapons?
Did any of us remember to bring health potions?
I will absolutely do that, and also bardic inspiration on Lavinia.
Oh, nice.
Aw, why thank you.
Yo.
Okay, I'm going to click on this so I know I have it. And then, presuming that the sconce is within reach, Lavinia is going to reach up and turn it.
Fantastic. As you do, you hear a weight drop somewhere in the inner workings of the wall, and a clanking sound as the stone grinds itself as the wall in front of you in this narrowish passageway with cages either side, the wall starts to raise. As it does so, you can smell the moisture in the air, but along with it, the sense of palpable dread. As the stone recedes into the ceiling, what is in front of you is a natural formation cave with stalactites coming down from the ceiling and stalagmites reaching up on the sides, up from the floor, and what was once a beautiful statue adorning the far wall of the cave. It reaches almost 20 feet in height of a blinded maiden, hands outstretched, cupped in front of them. And there is an altar in front of those cupped hands in the center of this caved room. Moisture drips from the stalactites into pools either side, but the center has been prepared and flattened. What you see is this once beautiful statue of some deity, a maiden of some kind, has iron riveted into it at various places, covering its face, its shoulder with spikes outsprung. Its chest is partially been chipped away and replaced with iron or steel, with rust and who knows what else in it. And this, what was perhaps once a place of worship, is now instead a place of sacrifice. and you see a very well-dressed woman led on the altar. And on the other side of the altar from them, you see an emaciated elf with eyes almost entirely looking up into the backs of their eyelids, shaking slightly, holding a large, what looks like a kitchen knife of some kind, muttering to themselves.
Have they noticed us?
Yeah, do they react?
Oh, they do not react to the loud, grinding sound of this door, this wall, grinding into the ceiling and revealing themselves. The candles in here are already lit, so you can see everything, Aletheia, even though we have lost the sconce, the one sconce that was lit. But you can see everything in here, and they just have not reacted to you at this point.
How far away are they from us?
About 15 to 20 feet.
Okay.
Quillow, yes.
You said this emaciated elf is muttering to himself. In what language is he muttering?
Perception, please.
I am also going to do perception, since I'm a half-elf.
Me 3.
That is a filthy little 20.
Whoa!
4 on my part.
I rolled a 3.
For the filthy little 20, you can tell it is in Elven, or Elvish, I should say. Does Quillow speak Elvish?
While Quillow doesn't speak Elvish, Quillow is going to cast Comprehend Languages.
Nice!
Which gives Quillow the ability to indeed understand what this elf is saying.
They are saying, I told him he couldn't keep me. He couldn't keep me. Hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft. Hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft. They can't keep me. They can't keep me. Hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft. Keeps repeating hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft. They can't keep me. And talks about him and mentions the magistrate. The magistrate cannot keep me.
The well-dressed woman, remind me, she's on the altar? She's in front of the altar? Is she...
Yeah.
She is led on the altar and is not moving.
Fuck!
And does she match the description of, like, the magistrate's wife, or would we know who that is? Who she is?
You didn't ask for a description of the magistrate's wife.
No, we didn't.
History check?
You could do a history check. Yeah, sure.
Is she wearing a wedding ring?
You could do a perception for that. Sure.
Probably pilfered.
That history check is a 21.
Oh!
Yo!
Yes. You know that is definitely a magistrate's wife. In fact, the magistrate's wife. You're unsure of their name as you didn't actually meet them. Let me just scroll up to where the talk of the magistrate was. The magistrate was in charge of property and zoning in the city. So something like deeds to property in the city would certainly be something of value and note to such a magistrate. But yes, you are 100% certain this is the magistrate's wife.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There is at least one other person in this party who understands Elvish.
I do. I think I rolled very poorly on my perception check, so I think I was just out of it.
I speak Elvish as well, so.
Too.
But you do your thing.
But I think as Lavinia gets over her initial shock, she's just going to call out stop in Elvish. Because she speaks Elvish and she can see that this guy is Elvish, so seems like a reasonable starting spot.
Their eyes descend from their eyelids and look at you all as the elf holds the knife out over the magistrate's wife and says, I won't let them. In Elvish, I won't let them. They cannot keep me. Hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft.
Okay, Lavinia's going to take a slow step forward, and she's going to put her halberd out to the side to look a little bit less, hopefully, imposing. And she's going to say, we're here to help. We can keep you safe. Please put the knife down.
Poor choice of words.
Persuasion check, please.
Okay, sure, yeah. That is a total of 10.
10.
Don't forget you have Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, I have inspiration. Does that let me add a d4?
That is a d6.
Oh! Okay, that's a total of 13 then.
Nice.
Better.
They slowly lower the knife, say, I won't let them. I won't let them.
You won't let them.
And they drop the knife to the floor. And their shoulders drop as they just stand there and seem defeated, and instead just repeat the words, hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft.
I would love to cast a mage hand where the knife is and just kind of drag it away.
Put that in your pocket.
Fantastic. Yes. Great idea. Yeah, you do so successfully. You do. And can you please also roll me a constitution check,
Yes.
please?
8.
Excellent. That is your knife now.
Oh, great. The hand brings it over to me, and I just hold on to that.
I manifested that.
You keep that. You put that in your pockets.
Can I speak to him in Elvish? Are you okay? How can we help you?
He continues to just say hot and cold, running and still, hard and soft.
Can I don't know if this is possible. Can I insight into like any speech patterns? I don't know. And get something from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, insight's great shout. Yeah, you can do that.
When I need it, it never comes through for me. That is, well, it's a 10, middle of the road.
That's fine. You can tell it's a riddle. What is hot and cold, running and still, but also hard and soft?
Will Aletheia share this information with the group, or would we need to roll our own checks?
Good point.
No, absolutely. I'm sharing it with you guys. It's a riddle.
Oh, it's water.
Water is running and still.
It's water. The answer is water. Hot and cold,
Yeah.
running and still, hard and soft. It has to be water.
Does he need water? Or like...
No, I have a water skin. I'm fine. I appreciate the thought, though.
Oh, no, not you.
JD, while they're discussing the riddle, so what Lavinia is paying attention to is I just rolled a total 18 medicine check on the elf. So I'm trying to pay attention, like, is he hurt? Is he, what's going on?
Fantastic. You can tell that this elf is out of their mind on Belladonna. They've been drugged.
Does that count as the poisoned condition by any chance?
Yes, I would count it as a poison's condition.
Okay, so Lavinia is going to come up now that she has noticed that the knife has been purloined, and that's fine. And she is going to lay on hands and whisper, I wrote this down. She's going to whisper, Hola Poisa. And she's going to use lay on hands to remove the poisoned condition. It does not restore any HP, it just removes the poisoned condition.
Fantastic. As your divine grace passes through them, a clarity returns to their eyes. And you can tell that they are obviously very upset. And they say to you, in common, understandable by all of you, They took us. They took all of us. They took everything we had. And put us in those cages. I managed to get out. I managed to attack the magistrate and take his wife, but I wasn't myself. I gave her the belladonna as well. She's unconscious from it. I don't know what I would have done. As you have prevented them from doing something they would have regretted.
Oh.
I'm just, if he'll allow it, I'm just gonna give him a really big hug.
Aww.
He certainly will, and actually just starts crying as you do so.
Lavinia is just gonna hold him and like pat. Can we get a height check? I'm 6 foot. How tall is this guy?
Oh, he's an elf, so he's fairly tall. So
Okay.
you're roughly similar height.
Okay,
yeah.
so then
But
like
he's a lot skinnier.
head on shoulder. I'm just gonna give him, a big hug and kind of look around and with one arm point at the magistrate's wife and do a to the rest of them like, what do we do now? I'm a little busy.
I would like to approach the magistrate's wife and
I
see if I can tell whether she is in fact still alive.
You can see,
I'm also approaching.
you can visibly see that they are breathing
Great.
and that they are alive, but their eyes are closed.
All that matters.
Cover.
I'm wondering, do we get the impression... Let me figure out how to properly phrase this. I would like to use identify if it will help me on the altar, if it will help me figure out what it has been in service of.
First, give me a perception check for the altar.
Yeah, totally reasonable. Please don't suck. Why didn't you listen? That is a 9.
That is absolutely fine. What you don't notice anything significant about it, but what you do notice is that there is elvish writing on the altar, and that the altar is made of the same stone as the statue.
I can still understand Elvish. What does the altar say?
Oh, fantastic. In that case, you can see that it says, I run without feet and fall without hurt. I am essential for life.
Run without feet. Yeah. Fall without hurt. I mean,
I can just see Kaya mouthing it. It's like, yeah, I know that.
water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Yes, I would like to still use... Again, this is metagaming, but no metagaming, Amanda. I would like to use Identify to see if I can understand the purpose of this altar.
100%. Yeah, great use of it. Happy with that.
While they're doing that, I'm actually gonna Lavinia is going to bring Buddy to sort of the side of the cave and see if she can sit him down and get him comfy and maybe run and get a spare shirt from the back room or something and just kind of make him comfy.
You can't take him off too far to the side because there's just the pools of water from the stalactites
Oh, okay.
on the side of the room. But you can take him to the side of what's going on in this thing. And
Yeah.
they seem fairly docile and will sort of do whatever is needed.
Canonical name now, Buddy the Elf.
So the Identify, is that, do you roll for that? Or
No, that is a fantastic question. So, Identify says... You touch an object through the spell's casting. If the object is a magic item or some other magical object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement and how many charges it has. You learn whether any ongoing spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn that spell's name.
Excellent. You can tell that the altar was once used for prayer, that this temple was formed in a cave with water in it specifically, and the outstretched hands of the statue behind the altar would typically be used for a bowl, to be filled with water to allow people to seek blessings or to purify things or to drink from it for health. The hands currently are empty.
Interesting. Do I get a sense of the misuse of this altar as it currently stands?
Oh, this whole room has been misused, yes. Lavinia can sense that, and if they voice that to the rest of you, you can... Would you have said so, Lavinia?
I think when she first used her divine sense, she only said that something was very wrong. If Quillow says is sharing the results of her identify spell, then Lavinia would share that the spiritual balance in the room is very upset. It is something's very wrong.
Yeah, I think you can all tell that this chamber was once a water deity of some kind for purification and has since been perverted, and the hands have not been used to contain water, and instead the statue has been desecrated and the altar has been used for more nefarious means.
Does Aletheia, now that we've clocked this is the magistrate's wife, can we clue into where the connections might be coming? So we have the Gremlin Teeth Emporium, and have I heard of anything in the past these people, I remember them being suspicious, and do I get any of that, a history check or something?
Sure. Well, on the checks, you know that the magistrate that was killed by this elf was a magistrate in the city in charge of property. The deeds and marriage certificates and writs of passage from the people that have been scooped up heading towards the city have been sold off into slavery. Their belongings have been taken from them and piled up here, and whatever was of value has been sold to the Gremlin Teeth Emporium, and the people have been sold to the Gremlin Teeth Emporium, and the stuff that's left here is whatever's left of their belongings that were not of use or not of worth.
I see.
You have thankfully saved one of these people now. And not ended up in combat with them, which was fantastic. Lavinia, Kaya.
Is Aletheia saying any of this out loud as you're reasoning through it?
Yeah, I'd be running it by my team.
Okay. Then as you put this together, Lavinia's nodding, and then with a deep sigh, she's gonna go over to do we have any sort of handcuffs, or am I tying her hands together with rope? That's what I'm doing. I am taking the unconscious body off the altar gently. I'm not manhandling her, but I'm going to put her in a sitting position. I'm going to tie her hands behind her back.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. They're unconscious.
Okay. Do you want me to do any sort of check for that? I know she's unconscious, but
You could give me a dexterity or
dex check.
sleight of hand if you'd prefer. Just for your not tying, or survival would be another way of doing it. Either which I would accept.
Total 10.
Yeah, that's fine. You tie a competent knot
Okay.
and bind their hands behind their back.
Yeah.
Sid's gonna pop in and just... There is another solution, and they're still holding the dagger.
Quillow is going to step in.
They abused their power. They have money. They have connections. They're gonna get away with this. She's gonna get away with this.
That won't happen.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
And what do you have to say about it? Because I have enough to say. And I kind of take a step forward.
Sid, if we're gonna put a stop to all of the bad things that are happening, the connections, this is our only lead so far. We can question her, get to the bottom of whatever all this is going on, and prevent more deaths possibly.
Quillow is going to step in at this point and say, I beg of you, don't make this decision. How much can I trust you three?
You can trust me 200%.
Lavinia looks very blank, like very confused, and sort of looks at the pauldron and then looks back at you and kind of goes, I led you into an altar that was desecrated. I think you can trust me, I hope.
Okay, fair. That does leave one left.
You can trust me. You can trust me. I don't want to hurt you. I know people like her.
Which means you also know people like me.
A lot of people that act like you aren't like you.
Which means that those of us who have not been corrupted by that which corrupts have all the more responsibility to see that those who do these horrific things are brought to justice.
And we can't become like them.
My family has power. I want to use it.
And justice is what I'm here for. I didn't sign up for the Guard to solve murders. I work for the Covert Cover. You may or may not have heard of us. We're a local news organization, and we've been suspecting malpractice among the magistrates for quite some time. This was our opportunity to find out more information. Now, we have more information. We have multiple witnesses. We have a link to the Gremlin Teeth Emporium. We can blow this story wide open. You can't kill her.
I would like a persuasion roll from Quillow, and I would like a history check from the rest of you.
I got a 5. I'm presuming that's for the Covert Cover.
Yes.
Can I give Quillow the help action with my support?
Yeah.
Would you allow that? Thank you.
100%.
Oh my god, thank you. I'm sitting here like, please.
It's a 14.
Okay, well, luckily, I will roll again just to see if I crit, but you said this was a persuasion roll?
Yes.
First is a 21.
Wow!
Hey!
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Thank goodness. They were both 21.
Excellent. Your history checks, you know that the Covert Cover is a local, for the Lapcinium City news zine. It is not what you would find in the standard tabloid newspapers in the vendors who are shouting about it around town. It is not the propaganda of the city. It is the truth, the cold, ugly truth. The investigators for the Covert Cover, you typically don't know who they are because they actually expose people and the wrongdoings that they do. They are probably the only reliable news that is in the city. For the rest, do not give the truth, the whole truth, but the truth. So, and yes, Quillow's persuasion to you, Sid, does seem genuine. You can feel that they are genuine about exposing this story.
Yeah.
And you can also feel that Lavinia is also genuine in their wish to do things the right way and not allow corruption to get away with this. And if it means leveraging their family name, they will.
Sid flicks the knife to the stone. It clatters a couple feet away. Just sighs deeply, and they go, fine. If she weasels out of this, I'm not blaming myself.
She won't.
Lav is going to hoist Magistrate Lady on her shoulder. But then she's going to pause. She's going to put her back down again and rummage in her pack. And she's going to pull out her bowl that she eats her rations with. And she's going to put it in the statue's hands, and she's going to pull out her thing of holy water. And and she's going to fill the bowl with it and then just lay a hand on the altar and bow her head and say a little prayer under her breath. And she's going to wait a beat to see if it does anything. But whether it does or doesn't, she's then just going to pick the magistrate up again and leave. I have no more paladin levels or anything. This is pure faith at this point. So if you want me to roll for it, I totally can, or totally up to you.
You feel the wrongness here abate. A calm appears in the room that you can all feel as the room is being used for its intended purpose, not a nefarious one. The corruption that was present, it isn't wiped away. The stone has memory, but it is certainly lessened, and you feel like a sigh of weight being lifted from whatever presence was in that room. And it is no longer a desecrated temple, merely a temple in disarray. And we will leave our session there. Fantastic job, everyone.
Yay!
Oh, yes.
Holy shit.
Same.
You have been listening to Welcome to the Owlguard, Episode 2, I'm Not Blaming Myself. Featuring the voices of Kaya Renwick as Lavinia Gray, Amanda Cotter as Quillow Bractknoll, Leah Ryan as Obsidian Capel, Abigail Carey as Aletheia Wren, and JD Kelly as everyone and everything else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons or royalty-free license. For extended credits, please read the show notes, and for more information, visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media as I Should Roll, and consider leaving us a review. Welcome to the Owlguard is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production based on the system Dungeons & Dragons, in accordance with their guidelines as of March 2025. Thank you for listening.